Hello everyone, my name is Shubh Jhala and today I want to share something that has shaped me as a person, which is ethical leadership and decision making. Ethics is more important than just rules or regulation. It about the choice that we make when no one is watching us. These choices can be easy, but at times that they can be extremely difficult, challenging our values, relationship, responsibilities, and even our future. So, throughout my life, I have encountered situations where I had to decide where being doing what is right and doing what is easy or convenient. Some of these moments tested my integrity, my friendship, and even my own self reputation and point of view in my life. Today, I will take you through three real life ethical dilemma that I have faced in different area of my life. So that are an academic integrity in school, a workplace conflict of interest, and the third one, a tough choice that I have made between honesty and self preservation in a personal situation. I will walk you through this experience, the thought process behind my decision, and the lesson I have learned. But first, we will discuss what I'm going to discuss in this video. So, the first one is the defining the ethics and role in leadership from my point of view. Second, three real world dilemmas, ethical dilemmas, and how they were handled. The third one is exploring how psychological and organizational culture influences ethics. Fourth one, discussing a practical framework for ethical decision making. And the fifth one is the reflecting on what is truly mean to an ethical leader. So, ethics is not just about theoretical, it also affects everything from business to personal relationship, from academic to global cooperation. So let's dive in. So the first question arises is, what exactly is ethics? So according to my point of view, ethics are the principles that guides our behavior, helping us to make right from wrong. Unlike personal morals, ethics are shaped by professional standards, laws, and social expectation. So why is ethical leadership is so important in our day-to-day life, that we have to choose between right and or wrong with ethically, without considering any personal morals or beliefs. So according to that, because leader influences others, a company with ethical leadership will build trust, accountability, and long-term success. So on the other side, a company without ethics, however, can crumble due to scandals, cooperation, and public distrust. As there is an example that we can call in here is as seen in the 2008 financial crisis, where greed leads to economic disaster for that company. Here there are three major ethical approaches are there, which is consequently ethics, second one is deontological ethics, and the third is virtue ethics. So the consequentialistic ethics is focusing on the outcomes, what decision benefits the most people. Second, deontologic ethics is focusing on duty and obligations, what is my responsibility regardless of the outcome, whether it is positive or negative for the company or for any personal situation. Then third is the virtue ethics, focusing on the character and integrity. What kind of person do I want to be, or what I will be because of this? So, ethical leadership requires a balance of these approaches. The hybrid of all three approaches would be great. Now, let's look at three real ethical dilemmas and how they were resolved. So, the first ethical dilemma is academic integrity in my school. So let me take you back to my school days, a time when assignments, exams, grades seem like the most important thing in my day-to-day life. I have just two assignments and all. So one day a close friend came to me, panicked and desperate. They had procrastinated too long on an important essay, and the deadline was just a few hours away. Instead of writing the whole essay by him own, he copied and most of their work from an online source and asked me not to tell anyone because it will uh, suspended him from the college. At that moment, I felt torn. So, here, what was at the stake? First, my personal integrity. I believed in honesty and fairness, and I knew that plagiarism was wrong. Second, my friendship. This was a close friend, and if I confronted them, I risked ruining our relationship and friendship between amongst us. And the third one is the academic system. If people got away with plagiarism, it would be unfair to students who work hard, who give their whole time to a project. So, what's my thought process and ethical consideration on this? So, I thought about my option. So, the first option is ignoring it. Many students got away with plagiarism, I thought. So, who was I to judge them? This would be a preconceptional moral development approach, but it won't make me right. The second is report it immediately. This was against school rules, and I had to duty to uphold academic integrity. And the third one is confront my friend first. Maybe this would be the right choice, but maybe they didn't fully understand the consequences. I could guide them to make right choices, but it wouldn't be valid. So, the resolution and outcome after a long overthinking I took is I choose to talk with my friend first. I explain how plagiarism could be get them expelled and it would hurt them in the long run. I encourage them to rewrite the assignment honestly with whatever information he have, and to lose mark is good than having the plagiarism, even if they had to take a lower grade, as I said. And in the end, my friend decided to rewrite the essay and submitted it late in overdue. They didn't get a perfect grade from it, but they felt relieved knowing that he had done the right thing at the right time. This situation taught me that ethical leadership is not just about following rules in life, it also about the helping others to make the right choices in their own life. So that's the ethical leadership for me at that situation. Let's dive into the second ethical dilemma. So, the second ethical dilemma is workplace conflict of interest that I have faced. Now, let's fast forward to my early career when I started working at a company that I admired a lot. So, after a few months working in that company, a job opening came up in my department and my cousin applied for the same position. He was qualified, but other the well deserving candidates are also dead, and I knew that there that there were other candidates who were well deserving also. One day my manager approached me and said, Shub, your cousin is a strong candidate. If you give a good recommendation, he almost guaranteed to get that job. So here what was at the stake at that time at that situation here. The first one is professional integrity. Would I compromise fairness just because of a family member? My relationship with my cousin, the second one. If I didn't help him, he might feel betrayed that I didn't help him for a job. The third one is the company's reputation. So, if people found out about the favoritism, I it could affect the trust in the hiring process, and it could affect the company's liabilities also. So, what's my thought process and ethical consideration on this is, again, I have the three choices: give my cousin a glowing recommendation and helping him get the job. The second one is stay completely neutral and let the hiring team decide that who is the well deserving candidate and who needs the job and which fit is the best for the company. And the third one is recuse myself from the hiring process to maintain the objectives. So, finally, what's the resolution and the outcome of this situation from my side and from the company side is I choose to step back and recuse myself from the process. I told my manager that I want the hiring decision to be based on the qualifications, not on personal connections. I will support whoever is the best for the job. I won't influence the process. As it turned out, my cousin didn't get the job, but he respected my decision. More importantly, I earned the trust of my colleagues that he didn't believe in the favoritism, who saw that I was valued the fairness over personal gains. This experience reinforced my belief that leadership requires fairness even when personal relationships are involved. Though my relationship with my cousins would not be that great, but he also trusts my decision and uh, let me do that. So that was my second ethical dilemma. So let's dive into the third ethical dilemma is the the honesty versus the self-preservation in a personal situation. So the final dilemma, the third one, is was perhaps the most difficult, as it was not just right or wrong, but about self-preservation here. A few years ago, I was involved in a group project with some colleagues, right? So at that time, we all had two different tasks, and one of my teammates made a critical mistake that makes a severe damage to my project, that approximately caused the project to a failure. At that time, when our boss called us in for a review, so the blame getting started passed around. At that point, my manager asked, "So, Shubh, do you know what happened?" I had two choices to make. First, tell the truth because I know who make the mistakes and all. So my teammate made the mistake that I know, and I could explain it to the boss. And the second choice I have at that time is stay silent or shift the blame from me to other. If I covered up from them or avoided responsibility, I wouldn't face any backlash from my colleagues and also from my boss. So here, what was at the stake? Honestly, honesty versus loyalty. Should I protect my colleague or tell the truth? Second, is the reputation and career. If I told the truth, would my teammates turn against me? They will play bad games against me. And the third one is trust and accountability. How would my decisions affect my long term credibility? So here I thoughts a lot about it and make a decision, and my thought process and ethical consideration on that is was this was a text of character. I realized that staying silent would be dishonest for the organization and for the other colleagues, but blaming my teammate would also be unfair. Instead, I took a virtue ethics approach in this situation and I said, We all made mistake in how we communicated and plan. Moving forward, we need to ensure better coordination, understanding amongst the teamwork, and the understanding of the project, so this doesn't happen again in this project. So was the resolution and outcome come from that statement? Among that group discussion with my boss is by taking shared accountability, I avoid blaming my teammate while still being honest with the company. My boss appreciated my transparency among with them, and instead of punishing anyone, he worked with us to fix our progress and the process of the project. This experience me taught me and that ethical leadership it's about honesty but also about protecting relationship and learning from mistake that not just made by me but also made by others that can help me to be a good man in my life. So from all these ethical dilemmas here, I have I had think about it like the psychological and organizational culture affects ethics a lot. So our ethical decisions are influenced by psychologically and social factors such as Kohlenberg's moral development theory that I have learned is conventional, conventional, and post conventional. So, what is pre conventional? Pre conventional it is I will do it unless I get caught. Second one is the conventional I will follow the rules because other expect me to do. And post conventional is I will act ethically because it's right thing to do. So that's the Collensburg moral development theory. The second one is the organizational culture. So there are two of them, the strong organizational ethical culture and weak ethical culture in the organization. So so the strong is ethical employees, all of the employees are ethical and they do all the work with ethics, and the weak ethical culture is everyone else is doing it mentally without focusing on ethical ethics, and they have their bias with their amongst colleagues. So the role of leadership here is ethical leaders create a culture of trust, responsibility, and fairness amongst the company. So, so the best example over here is company like Costco follows a strong ethical mission ensuring fairness amongst the employee and customer, which makes the better strong bonding amongst the company and the employee, management and the employee, and amongst all. So here is the main part of the video is what are the steps that we can make to make a ethical decision making in any situation. So here are the eight steps that we have to follow to make a ethical decision that I have learned from my professor in the class. Is the first to gather the facts, second defining the ethical issues, the third one is identify the stakeholders. Fourth one is the consider the consequences. Fifth one is recognize your obligations. Sixth is the evaluate your integrity. Seventh is explore alternative actions. The eighth one is trust your instinct, and the most important is trust your instincts. So this framework help us make structured, rational, ethical choices if applied to our earlier dilemmas, so that better decision could be made with confidence, which can make our decision making more confidently, and we can choose the right path, and we can be a ethical leadership abilities and skills in us that can make a long time happier relationship with others. So the final thought and call of action in this situation and this video is today we have explored about the importance of ethics in leadership, Second, the three dilemmas that I have described and discussed about it and how they were handled. Third, how psychologically and cultural influences ethics. Fourth one, a structured framework for ethical decision making. So, what's the takeover from this video is ethical leadership is more than just rules. It's more than just rules. It's also about the career, character, responsibilities, and integrity. So, so what's the challenge from my side to you is reflect on own ethical values. Second, be mindful to ethical dilemmas in day-to-day life and daily life, and um, take that 8 steps in your life and make a ethical decision in your day-to-day life. And fourth one is lead with honesty, fairness, and courage in day-to-day life. So thank you for your time. I hope this discussion has given you valuable insights into ethical leadership and decision making. And now go out there and be the ethical leader of the world needs. Thank you so much. That's from my side.